What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Off the Cliff Show, brought to you by 14th Market Podcast Network. If you are watching, wherever you're listening, watching, what I need you to do right now is hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. If you are on YouTube, scroll down, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It is free. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, make sure you hit the follow button and you also subscribe. It helps me out a lot. It is free. It supports me. Make sure you guys go and do that. But yeah, man, like I said, Off the Cliff Show, 14th Market, brought to you by 14th Market Podcast Network. We're back with another episode. We're going to talk about Sixers versus the Clippers last night in a controversial loss, dealing with the refs, Kelly Oubre's performance last night, Nick Nurse's performance, Tyrese Maxey. We also have a Joel Embiid update. Not really an update, but I guess whatever. Like, we'll take it. We'll talk about it. Also, going to expand on the Paul George rumors and also how he played last night. Was he auditioning? My dog is in the background being a dog. But yeah, got his ball. But I was wondering what he was grabbing. But yeah, so we will talk about all of that and get into it. Here's the intro. All right, so Sixers played the Clippers last night. Sixers lose, controversial loss. I guess actually, let me tell you the score. My dog is in my lap right now. They lose 108-107. We'll get right into it, right? So Kelly Oubre might be the dumbest basketball player I've ever seen in my life. He is like he's the singular reason the Sixers lost that game last night. He made countless stupid play after stupid play and made stupid decisions, was lackadaisical with the ball. I guess we can talk about the fouls, right? So, which one do we want to start off with? Okay, the foul on Kawhi, where Kawhi gets the and one. If you just let him go, Kawhi dribbles past Batum, goes for a layup. If you just let him go, the game is tied. Sixers with 15 seconds left. Sixers can come down. The ball is in your court. You control your own destiny. Cool, right? So Kawhi dribbles, it has a wide open lane. And I'm like, all right, well, cool. He lays this up. We're good. Kelly Oubre decides to jump, contest the layup, and foul him. And it was absolutely a foul because if you look at the replay, Kelly Oubre's whole arm damn near comes down on Kawhi. Like, what are you doing? So Kawhi obviously and one because Kawhi hates the Sixers and will hit any shot that's needed to win them the game. So Kelly Oubre fouls Kawhi. Kawhi hits the free throw. Clippers are up one. Then I think after that they come down. They call a timeout, right? I think like the timeout gets called. The out of timeout play. I'm like, all right, well, they need to get Maxey off the ball. Like they need to get him moving. So because the Clippers are trapping him all night, right? So the out of timeout because Maxey lines up all the way in the backcourt, damn near in the other in the paint of the Clippers basket. And you're like, all right, well, they're going to do that action where they're going to throw it damn near at half court. Probably Batum is going to catch the ball. Maxey's going to come sprinting to Batum. Batum's going to hand it off to him, or he's going to have the option to fake it and then go by his defender, right? So I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. No, they inbound the ball. Maxey never moves from back at half court. They get it to Kelly Oubre, who then decides to drive one-on-one versus fucking Kawhi Leonard. Like, what? So he drives versus Kawhi Leonard. He gets the shot punched through the backboard. Everybody's like, oh my God, no, that's a foul. No, it wasn't. It wasn't a foul. It's textbook. He rolled Kelly. He had his hand on Kelly Oubre's hip. Wait, is that hip checking? Oh my God. No, he didn't have his hand on his hip. He played good defense. He slid his feet versus Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre went up. Kawhi just timed it and punched the layup off the backboard. People are trying to talk like Kawhi's forearm maybe possibly hit Kelly Oubre's arm while he was going up. And then people are sending all these blurry pictures. I'm going to have a video here because it's obvious that it wasn't a foul. And even if it was a foul, we're not calling that ticky-tack. They're not calling that ticky-tack late in the game foul where he barely got touched, and you would give that foul to him in like the third quarter or the second quarter. You're not going to give it to him at the end of the game because it was a stupid layup attempt. The rest are probably looking at him like, what the hell is he doing? And then you can end this versus Kawhi Leonard out of all people. Like if he did that versus like James Harden, even Paul George, who is a great defender in himself, I would have been fine. But you don't do that versus Kawhi Leonard. So whatever, yo. So then after that, it has to be a jump ball. Nick Nurse wasted timeout because he thinks she can challenge it. We'll talk about that later. So then, but they win the tip ball. Batum taps it to Buddy Hill. Buddy Hill swings it to Kelly Oubre. At this point, Kelly Oubre has at least 3 different options. All right, it's about 3 seconds left. He dribbles. He could either kick the ball to Tobias in the corner, drive and shoot a floater, or dribble one time and pull up for 3. It's only 3 seconds left. He had 4 because he could have initially grabbed the ball, kicked it to Tobias in the corner, and while he was driving, James Harden was so far away because he tried to jump the pass to Tobias. Kelly Oubre faked it. He could have just then swung it to Tobias again, but he decided not to do that. So what he decides to do is he gets the ball. It's about 2-3 seconds left. He decides to drive directly into Paul George. He drove directly into him, jumps up, tries to lay the ball up. He doesn't. It's all this collision. Everything's going on. He doesn't get fouled. Well, no, they don't call a foul because it wasn't a foul. Paul George jumped straight up. He even jumped backwards. His arms never come down. If people want to compare it to the Kelly Oubre Kawhi contest, Kelly Oubre's arm comes down. Paul George's arms never come down. He jumps backwards and then goes straight up. And it's like, what? Like, what are we? Why is that even a shot? Even if Kelly Oubre got the shot off, it wouldn't have been any time left. So, like, what is going on? Why is this the Kelly Oubre show down late in the game? What the hell am I watching? But, oh my God, that frustrated me. Yo, like, what are we doing? Why are we feeding the ball to Kelly Oubre? And I kind of get Kelly's mindset, right? Like, he caught the ball, 2-3 seconds left. He gets it. He looks. The player that's open is Tobias Harris. And if you all play basketball, you've all had somebody that you like. You may have been that person where it's like, yeah, you're not getting the ball. I don't care what I gotta do, but you're not getting the ball. So he look at Tobias. He like, nah, we're good. We're good. I'm just going to deal with whatever consequences come with this. And he just drives. He never looks Tobias' way again. Tries to lay up. Paul George defends it perfectly. After the game, the refs come out with the 2-minute report. They say like it should have been a foul on Paul George. They said he slightly moved to the left, and it's like, all right, y'all just doing that to save face. Like it wasn't like to me personally, I still don't think it was a foul. Like referees are saying it's foul, but I'm not ever listening to NBA referees. They're the worst referees across all sports, and I don't even think it's close at this point. The NFL is better. MLB. Who has umps are bad, but they're not as bad as NBA. NBA refs, there's an issue every single night. Yes, I'm not. I never take any ref's word for granted. To me, it wasn't a foul. I have to just take everything up to my own perception and what I thought happened, and it wasn't a foul. Yeah. So those were I don't know what just happened, but yeah, those were that was the scenario that led up to the Sixers losing to the Clippers last night. And there was also a possession where for some reason, like I spoke about it the last show, right? The Sixers are this like lackadaisical team where their just mental is not there all the time for a full game. So the Clippers come back, they're pressing to make sure Tyrese doesn't get the ball. So they press him, they face guard him. Batum, I think, throws it. No, they end up getting the ball to Batum. Batum throws it to Kelly Oubre, who knows the Clippers are pressing. So, like, Kelly Oubre casually catches the ball, tries to casually turn around, dribble the ball, and Paul George just steps in front of him, knocks the ball out of his hand, and it goes out of bounds. Now, the refs called that Clippers ball. All right? On the floor was Sixers ball. The refs called it Clippers ball after they reviewed it. I don't care about the review. Whatever, replay, whatever. It's the NBA refs, right? Why did Kelly Oubre just turn around so casually, like nobody was there? Like you knew the Clippers were pressing. You're the reason you have the ball is because the Clippers were pressed up, and you know the man guarding you is Paul George or Kawhi Leonard. Why did you not grab the ball, squeeze it, hold it, look around, look up, and then decide what you wanted to do with the ball? Not casually get it like, well, this is a regular inbound play. Let me get the ball. Let me dribble. Let me see if I can do something with it. No, you just decided like, oh my God, I can't even. I can't. That was the worst. I even tweeted out last night like NBA players have the basketball IQ of peanuts because it's just constant dumb things that happen. There's like multiple inbounds plays where the player's initially open and the player won't pass on the ball, or like, oh my god, my dogs. Oh my god. But yeah, it's like things on defense where like they'll be guarding a 3-point shooter, there's a screen, they'll go under the screen, like stupid things like that. Kelly Oubre grabbing the ball while he's being pressed and like casually trying to dribble the ball up court, like, well, versus a team with two of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. Like, what are we doing, yo? Oh my god. Um, Also, bad Nick Nurse game. Talked about it before. Where I want to start is, so the Clippers, like every team, are starting to do everybody has to beat us except for Tyrese Maxey. So the entire fourth quarter, what they would do is Maxey would get the ball across half court, and they would just send another player at him, right? So you see that happening for an entire fourth quarter, and then for an entire fourth quarter, Nick Nurse decides not to put another ball handler in there to get the pressure off of Maxey. He could have put Kyle Lowry in there. He could have put Campaign in there, just to take the pressure off of Maxey and move him off ball, so the Clippers don't have the advantage of all 10 eyes are staring at Tyrese Maxey, and you're able to send a double from wherever, and the Clippers defense is able to rotate because none of the Sixers players are moving after the double gets sent. So the Clippers are just easily defending them. There was a possession where the Clippers, they were in man, but they essentially, like, Maxey got the ball across half court, and the Clippers like essentially went 3-2 zone, but they were still in man because they weren't worried about any of the other Sixers. And then like they just wanted to cut off all of Tyrese Maxey's driving lane so he couldn't turn a corner or do anything. And the Sixers players all just stood where they literally moved to where a Clippers defender was standing. And it's like, bro, somebody cut to the middle, somebody get on the elbow, somebody do something, move. What are we doing? Why, like, the inability of NBA players to identify what's happening in real time on the court is insane. Like, the amount of times I've seen NBA players not be able to break a press because they won't just calm down and look, and they feel like they just have to go is insane. So like I said, bad Nick Nurse game. The fact that they still don't know what to do when Tyrese Maxey is getting hard doubled or blitzed at damn near the half court line is like a testament to Nick Nurse, because what are y'all working on? But you know this is gonna happen, especially without Joel. What are y'all doing in practice to where nobody knows what to do or where to go on offense when this happens, and you can't generate any offense? When they did generate any offense while Tyrese Maxey was getting doubled, it was like a contested shot, Batum contested shot in the corner, Buddy Hield contested shot from damn near half court. And it's like, why are these shots coming so difficult? After he's getting doubled, it should be an easy 4-on-3. We should be able to dissect this and figure this out. Somebody has to make a play and react. But the Sixers' entire thought process and processing speed of what to do when they have to ball and they have to make a decision is just off, when it's probably compounded with not having another point guard out there to help Maxey make a decision, because you have Buddy Hield and Tobias Harris out there who are probably the slowest decision makers on the team. They both had to get the ball and then look and then decide, okay, well, I'm going to do this, instead of being reactionary. Neither one of them are like that. So another thing. So after the Kawhi block, right, on Kelly Oubre, where he got his layup punched through the backboard, Nick Nurse calls a timeout, right? And he decides, oh, actually, no. Nick Nurse drew up the out of the after timeout play where Maxey's in the half, like the backcourt, where you could use him as I'm thinking like, all right, cool, they could use him as a decoy. He never moves. So then he draws up a play for Kelly Oubre versus Kawhi Leonard. Then after that, after Kawhi blocks your shot off the backboard, Nick Nurse calls a timeout because Oubre is complaining that's a foul because it wasn't. He calls a timeout, and you can't review. He's trying to challenge or review a non-call, and you can't do that. So you waste the time out there. The Sixers have to jump the ball up with 5 seconds left, which was ridiculous. Now, if the Sixers had that timeout, they could have won the jump ball, got it, called timeout, then drew up another play for after timeout. But Nick Nurse ended up wasting it. I don't know what he was on last night, but I don't know. It was just a bad Nick Nurse game. Moving on. We could talk about talk about Paul George, and the still rumors swirling around of him possibly the Sixers being interested, him possibly coming to Philly. Watching him last night, and like my thoughts on Paul George have been he's the perfect player. He has the perfect skill set to fit around Maxey and then be someone you can plug and play. He can be he can be a ball handler, shot creator, plays great defense. Just perfect what you want next to Tyrese Maxey. And B, will he take that role of third option? We don't know because he's essentially the second option on the Clippers and most often the first option on nights, especially when Kawhi is out. So will he take that step back? My thoughts have always been you do not give Paul George a max contract at 33 years old and he'll be 34 in May. You just don't offer that to Paul George. And I've always felt like the Sixers do this thing where they acquire players who are pretty much about to be over the hill or ending in their prime or just over the hill. And I just don't think you can give that type of money to Paul George. Now, a caveat to that is like if he is what we say and what I say, and like he's the perfect skill set next to Maxey, and it's kind of like what I was saying about Levine earlier in the season as well. If he does have the perfect skill set to fit next to Embiid and Maxey, then and it leads to them being the best team in the NBA, like does the money matter at that point? Like if the end goal is to win a championship, right? And you do win a championship with the core of Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, Paul George, then the money doesn't matter. Like who cares, right? If you win a ring, who cares, right? So and that's the same thing I was saying about Zach LaVine. If he is the player that you think can push you over the top, even at his age, then sure, you go shell out the money. I personally, I just don't know, right? So when like I watched Paul George last night, and like he looked good, but he looked bad at the same time. Like he scored 22 points last night, and it just felt like it just took everything in him to score that 22 points. And he also had multiple times in the game where he could have actually iced the game for the Clippers, and it was just brick after brick after brick. And it's like, all right, well, we'll do it. That we don't want him here for that because we already have a playoff choker in Joel Embiid. But like, what is he going to be able to provide us in the playoffs? So, but he also had moments where you're like, okay, this is the skills that I'm talking about and the player that we can acquire if the Sixers were able to get Paul George because he's a quick decision. Like he's way better than Tobias Harris, and it's basically the swap that you'll be doing. But he's a quick decision maker. He was able to identify mismatches the entire game. Like he went at Maxey one time. He got the ball. He noticed Maxey was on. And was like, oh, I'm going right to the rim. And he didn't waste any time. Bodied up Maxey. Maxey's just at this point, he's just too small, and that's okay. He just laid the ball up over him. Good 3-point shooter. Good knockdown shooter. But like I said, he scored 22 points last night, and it looked like it just took everything in him to score that 22 points. Like it felt like he had at least 29, 30, 32, 30, that's what it felt like. But then I went and looked at the box score and it's like, oh my, like he only has 22. So, that's my thoughts on Paul George. Like I said, I would love to have Paul George. Like the age of him being about to be 34 in May, and also giving him a max contract. I don't agree with. I don't think that they should do. But if it happens, like whatever. It's because like if it happens, of course, I'm going to be like, oh my god, like the Sixers got Paul George. Now it's Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Joel Embiid, with possibly the core coming back of Kelly Oubre, Buddy Hield, Batum, Kyle Lowry, Paul Reed. Like that's a team you can get behind because they play well without Embiid. They just lose a lot of games because they're not mentally there and they don't have Embiid to mask a lot of things they do. But when they get Embiid, they were a top 5 team in the NBA. So you get him back, you add Paul George. It's like, all right, I see the vision. So like, I'm not completely against it. I just don't want to give him a max, and that's fine. But if it leads to a championship, who cares? It ain't my money. I don't give a damn. We could talk about. We also got an Embiid non-update yesterday from Nick Nurse. He essentially said like Embiid's been on the court. Pompey asked him if he's like been running 5-on-5 and then like the G League guys, like has he been scrimmaging? Nick Nurse again didn't answer. He just said, yeah, he's been on the court. All right, Nick, what? Huh? Is he coming back? Like, and it was another report saying Woj came out and said like it's not a matter of if, but when Embiid returns. So we don't know. They haven't given a timetable, the Sixers specifically, and I believe they're doing it on purpose. I personally believe they're trying to see where the Sixers kind of finish out toward my dog. They're trying to see where they finish out towards the end of the regular season, to see when they exactly want to bring him back. Do they want to bring him back next week? Do they want to bring him back with 2 or 3 games left before the play-in tournament? They have to get his conditioning ramped up. What if the Sixers lose like the next 2 or 3 games? Like, do you even bring him back at all? So that's why I think they're not giving us a timeline. That's absolutely what they're doing. So I don't know why they think we're stupid, but I mean, whatever. um, is there any point to bringing him back? My personal thoughts are like, at this point, I just want to see him play again. Like, when you do bring him back, will he be conditioned enough? Will he be in rhythm enough to where he can continue to play at the MVP level? Because if he can play at the level he was playing at before he got hurt, they're going to wipe whoever in the play-in, right? And then they have to go on to play either the Boston Celtics or the Boston Celtics or the Milwaukee Bucks, right? And I do think they have a chance versus those teams, but those teams have been together all season. They've been able to gel. They know how to work off of each other, and they're kind of both in rhythms where you're bringing Embiid back and you're going to have to try to get into that rhythm again during a playoff series versus one of the top 2 teams in the NBA. It will be tough, but at this point, like before this, I was against bringing him back during the play-in, and I kind of still am. But like I said, I just want to see him play again. And like somebody said it last night, if he's able to play and he is healthy, you give it a shot, right? Like if he's 100%, you absolutely give it a shot because you never know what can happen. Think about the Heat from last season, making it all the way to the NBA Finals, right? So that could possibly happen. Of course, different scenario, but like I said, just want to see him play again. Should they bring him back? Probably not, unless he's 100%. You're like, all right, got to give it a shot. I'm already looking towards the off season, kind of. I'm like over the season. It's just too much going on. Everybody's still hurt. Like Covington is still hurt. We don't have an update on DeAnthony Melton. Oh my god, phone was ringing. But we have updates on both of those players. Nick Nurse says Cove is looking better. DeAnthony Melton still is a pain tolerance thing. They don't have an update on him, and it's like he also said that they're hoping to have them both back before the end of the regular season, which is next week. So I don't know what's going on with that, but the Embiid injury, it's just so much going on where I'm just looking forward to the offseason, seeing what they can do. Do I trust Daryl Morey? Absolutely not, to do the right thing, but we'll see, man. We'll see. Whatever. So yeah, that is the Embiid update. Should he come back? That's my thoughts on it. I really don't know. I just want to see my guy play again, man. But all right, if I don't clip that out, then you guys know what just happened. But yeah, man. Appreciate everybody for listening. Like I said, make sure y'all go subscribe, like, follow, do whatever you gotta do to support me. Retweet all the videos that y'all see. I'm thinking about also going live for the playoffs when that does come around. So, well, we will figure it out. Holla at y'all.